Staying mentally ahead is not about being smarter than everyone else. It's about thinking clearer, reacting slower, and choosing better while others stay trapped in noise. This video is about how to stay mentally ahead in a world designed to overload your brain. By the end of this video, you'll understand why most people feel mentally behind all the time, what actually keeps your mind sharp under pressure, and how to build a simple system that protects your mental edge every single day. Let's start with the real problem. Most people don't lose their mental edge because they lack intelligence. They lose it because their attention is constantly fragmented. Your brain cannot think deeply when it is always reacting. Notifications, opinions, news, and endless content keep your mind in a state of mental defense instead of mental leadership. When you're always responding, you're already behind. Staying mentally ahead begins with controlling input. What enters your brain determines how clearly you can think. High-quality thinking requires low-noise input. That means you don't consume information all day. You schedule it. You decide when to check messages, when to scroll, and when to disconnect. This isn't about isolation. It's about preventing your mind from being hijacked before it has done its own work. The next shift is learning to slow down your response, even when everything feels urgent. Mentally ahead people don't react immediately. They pause. That pause is powerful. It gives your brain time to move from emotional reaction to logical evaluation. Most mistakes happen not because of wrong thinking, but because of rushed thinking. When you delay your response by even a few seconds, you regain control over your decision-making. Another key element is mental clarity. Clarity comes from unloading your brain. When you try to remember everything, your mind stays cluttered and anxious. Mentally ahead people externalize information. They write things down. Tasks, ideas, worries, plans, everything goes somewhere outside the brain. This frees mental space for thinking instead of remembering. A clear mind can see patterns. A cluttered mind cannot. Staying mentally ahead also requires protecting your energy. Your brain runs on energy, not motivation. Poor sleep, constant stress, and mental overload reduce your ability to think strategically. You don't need extreme routines. You need consistency. Going to bed at similar times, taking short mental breaks, and avoiding nonstop stimulation gives your brain time to reset. A rested brain sees opportunities others miss. One of the most overlooked skills is selective ignorance. Mentally ahead people are not informed about everything. They are informed about the right things. They ignore trends that don't matter, opinions that don't help, and information that doesn't move them forward. This is not arrogance, it's focus. Every piece of information you consume has a cost. The cost is attention. Spend it carefully. Another advantage comes from thinking in principles instead of situations. Situations change, principles don't. When you understand core principles, how people behave, how systems work, how habits form, you don't need to relearn everything from scratch. You can adapt faster because you recognize patterns. This is why mentally ahead people seem calm in chaos. They've seen the structure beneath the surface. Reflection is another critical habit. Most people move from one day to the next without processing what happened. Mentally ahead people review what worked, what didn't, what should change next time. This doesn't take hours. 5 minutes of reflection compounds over time. It turns experience into wisdom instead of repeated mistakes. Staying mentally ahead also requires emotional regulation. When emotions control your thinking, clarity disappears. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means recognizing them without letting them dictate your actions. The ability to stay calm under pressure gives you a massive advantage. While others panic, you analyze. While others react, you choose. Finally, mentally ahead people play the long game. They don't chase every opportunity or react to every setback. They think in months and years, not hours and days. This long-term perspective reduces anxiety and improves decision-making. When you're not obsessed with immediate results, you make smarter moves. Staying mentally ahead is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it deliberately. Control your input, slow your reactions, protect your energy, focus on principles, reflect regularly. When you build these habits, your mind becomes calm, clear, and strategic. And when your mind is clear, you're already ahead.